So what do I think of this Sinnis as a bike to ride? It's a comfortable seating position. The seat is relatively comfortable. It's not giving me any aches, any pains. The legs are in a nice 90-degree bend. Back is pretty much bolt upright. I'm not having any aches and pains whilst riding this bike. The wing mirrors, they're okay. They're kind of like diamond shaped, so they taper off towards the outside edges, which slightly restricts your view. Personally, I would have made him a little bit bigger, but that said, I can still see what's behind me, and I haven't got to bring my elbows in, which is nice. Most motorbikes that I've ridden, you have to bring your elbows in to see behind, but the Sinnis Apache, you don't need to, so that's a bonus. First gear on this bike is extremely short. First gear is pretty much just to get you moving. Once you're up out of first gear, it's not bad after that. Right, so we're doing 30 at the moment, international. What's the acceleration like? That's full throttle. That's redlined, and we're moving up. Can we get to 60? That's 50. Redline fourth gear, up into fifth. 53 miles an hour. 54 miles an hour. 55. 56, and we're backing off now because we've run out of national. So I couldn't get up to national speed limit on that. I do weigh 90 kilograms, so I think this bike is going to be more aimed at people who've just got their CBT that are 16, 17, and obviously they're going to be a lot lighter than me, so you probably would get up to national speed limit a lot quicker. That said, it felt like it was pulling comfortably. It didn't struggle getting me to 55 miles an hour, so it wasn't all that bad. Now, one thing I have noticed with the speedo on this bike, it is a digital speedo, as you can see. It does jump every now and again. So you'll be doing. I find it's more when you're trying to get your speed up quickly. It will go 5-6 miles an hour up, and it will drop back down again. I'm not too sure why it's doing that, but that is slightly strange, because you're looking at your speed and all of a sudden you're 5 miles an hour quicker than you were a split second ago, but then it drops straight back down to what your previous speed was. So yeah, I don't know if that's with all of the bikes or if it's just this one, but it's a bit strange. Obviously this is a single cylinder engine, but for a single cylinder, about 11 horsepower, it does pull quite nice. Now if this bike was to be your off-road bike, it would be quite a good little bit of kit for going off-roading. Now there is an issue with this. When you're trying to use clutch control, there isn't any clutch control on this bike. You're pulling the clutch in to get your clutch control and slowly let it out. There's no bite point until the clutch is all the way out. So when you are trying to do slow maneuvers and feather that clutch, use your throttle, it doesn't do anything because the clutch is all the way out. So that is something which does limit its ability potentially off-road. However, that said, once you're moving in first gear, you are going relatively slow, so I don't think you're going to have much issues needing clutch control unless you're going up and over objects rather than full throttle in it, but then you're just going to have to rely on your brakes. Right, up here we've got another national speed limit. So the engine braking on this bike is really good. Tap it down and it does brake very quickly with the engine. Okay, so we're at 30 miles an hour, and let's see if we can get to 60 on this national speed limit. This one's a bit longer than that last one, so hopefully, that's 47. hopefully we'll be able to hit 60. And this speedo is jumping all over the place. Right, it's settled down now, so we're doing 55, 56. Can we get to 60? 57, 56. We're in top gear. We're in 5th gear. This bike has only got 5 gears. 57 miles an hour. 57. The speedo is jumping all over the place. It's hitting 59, 60, 57, but the bike isn't going any faster. Right, that's 58. And that's 60, 58, 59, 60. So we have got to 60 miles an hour. It has taken a fair bit of time, but it's a 125. So I'm going to say that is it capable of doing national speed limits? It's definitely capable of doing a single carriageway national speed limit at 60 miles an hour with a 90 kilogram adult on. But if you are a lot lighter, younger, you are going to be lighter hopefully, I don't think you're going to have any issues at all getting this bike up to national speed limit on a 60. Now I have ridden this on a dual carriageway and on the motorway with 2 up, 2 adults, both weighing in about 90 kilograms, and at one brief moment we hit 70 miles an hour and this engine was telling us slow down. It couldn't take it any longer, so we had to back off, and we were cruising around about 55, 60 miles an hour, and the bike, it coped really well. It didn't struggle. We didn't find at any point that it was going to give up. So it done really, really well. 2 up, averaging about 55 miles per hour. Now the handling of this bike is pretty comfortable. You can go around corners easy. Doesn't feel like it's running away from you. It doesn't feel like it's understeering or trying to kick the tail out. So it's a good handling little bike. Now the body of this is naturally quite skinny. That said, the seat, it is a comfortable seat and it does hold you relatively firmly. So for its skinny nature, it's not bad. The displays are simple. You got an analog rev counter, you got a gear indicator in the middle, and you got a digital speedo to the right hand side of the display. On the near side handlebar, left handlebar as you look at it from the rider's point of view, you've got your horn, your headlight flash, your high beam and your low beam, and that's it. Nice and simple. On the right hand side you got your engine start and your kill switch. Obviously your brake lever and your clutch on either side as normal, and that's it. Very, very simple, effective setup on this bike. And when I did look at this bike, I always wondered what this big like bridge was across the top. It's actually a brake hose braid, brake hose wire. So that's what that is, if anyone's wondering. It's not just a metal crossover, which I initially thought it would be. Now this bike does come with storage on the near side, just behind where your butt is. There's a little tube which opens up and you can put little bits of items inside it. It's a bit narrow for a drink, but you can fit potentially your phone, your wallet, chocolate bar, maybe even ram a packet of crisps down the side of it. You can fit your action cameras. It's got limited space, but enough just to get the junk out your pockets. Put your keys in it, house keys, and it would look after it quite comfortably. So this bike, as a basic 125 to get you on the road, you don't want to spend a fortune on, I'd give it a big thumbs up. Sinnis, you've done well with this bike. It's easy to ride, it is comfortable, and I've got no real problems with it. I'm sure the parts are cheap and easy to replace if they go wrong. And we have pretty much made the petrol station. 8 miles from the point where I thought we were about to run out of juice. The Apache is still moving. Town riding on this bike is really comfortable. It's easy to filter in and out of traffic. But like all 125s, your road positioning gives you that dominance on the road. You look down the road, you see where you're going, and cars tend to move over, the courteous ones, they tend to move over to let you past. Now, overtaking people on a 125, regardless of what power it's got, is inherently difficult because there isn't much power. It doesn't go very fast and you run out of revs quite quickly. So tend to sit behind most things unless traffic is completely stationary. Going around a roundabout, leaning into it slightly, easy. And here we are, we've made the petrol station. Right, so let's see how much fuel we can get into this bike. So I think that's pretty much well and truly empty by now. Right, so normal unleaded fuel. I reckon it will be about £8. There we go, that's a full tank of fuel, and that is £8.76, 7.62 litres. Nice and easy.